Have you ever felt this way? You're learning English, you understand a lot, but when you go to speak, nothing. Your mind just goes completely blank. It is so frustrating, right? Well, you're not alone. But what if I told you there's a clear way to push past that? Let's dive in and figure out how to break through that plateau together.
So what is going on here? Why do so many of us hit this invisible wall? You've put in the work, you know the grammar, you've got the vocab, but the words just don't flow. It's such a common problem, but the answer isn't what you probably think it is. It's got nothing to do with studying harder.
And there it is. The single biggest barrier isn't your English knowledge. It's fear. The fear of messing up, of sounding ridiculous, of being judged by other people. That one little emotion is powerful enough to completely freeze your brain and stop you from using all the English you already know. So, to get fluent, the very first thing we have to do is take on this fear. Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to walk through a 5-step solution. First, we'll dig into that barrier of fear. Then, we'll talk about switching up our mindset. After that, we'll create our own little English world. Then I'll share some secrets to speaking confidently, and we'll finish up with a super simple way to boost your vocabulary. Let's do this. Right, let's really get into this idea of fear being the real barrier. When you're trying to have a conversation, your brain is doing 2 things at once. It's trying to find the right words, sure, but it's also fighting this little voice asking, what if I get the tense wrong? What if they don't get what I'm saying, you know? That internal pressure is exactly what makes speaking feel so incredibly hard. And here they are, the usual suspects. I bet some of these look familiar. The fear of making a mistake, the fear of sounding silly, worrying about what other people think, and oh, that classic fear of forgetting a word right in the middle of a sentence. And of course, the big one, the pressure to be absolutely perfect. When you see it all laid out, you realize, hey, the problem isn't my English, it's the insane amount of pressure I'm putting on myself. Okay, so if fear's the problem, the solution has to start right here, in your head. It is all about mindset. Before you learn a single new word or another grammar rule, we have to change the way you think about English and the way you think about yourself as an English speaker. So check this out. This is the practical shift we need to make. On the left, you've got that negative voice. Instead of saying, my English is bad, I want you to literally start saying, I am improving every day. Instead of thinking, I can't speak English, switch it to, mistakes help me learn. And this last one is a big one. Stop telling yourself English is hard. Start telling yourself English is easy. I know, it sounds simple, but the more you say it, the more your brain starts to believe it, and that wall of fear starts to come down. So once you start working on that internal world, your mindset, it's time to change your external world. And here's the good news. You do not need to move to another country to get fluent. You can build a totally immersive English environment right where you are right now. And here are 4 super easy but seriously effective things you can do today. 1. Change your phone's language to English. Easy. 2. Start thinking in English. Just narrate your day in your head. Okay, I'm making some coffee. This traffic is awful. 3. Talk to yourself out loud. It is the ultimate zero-pressure practice. And 4. Label things around your house. Stick a note on the refrigerator, the window, the chair. Turn your home into your own personal textbook. Trust me, these tiny habits add up to massive change. Okay, now we're getting to the really cool stuff. Practical techniques that will make you sound better, like immediately. See, it's not just about what you say, it's all about how you say it. And one of the most powerful tools for sounding confident and in control is something most of us totally ignore: silence. Which brings us to this idea of verbal punctuation. Just think about it for a second. In writing, you have commas and periods to break up ideas. Well, in speech, pauses do the exact same thing. They give your listener a second to catch up, and more importantly, they give you a second to think. Rushing your words makes you sound nervous, but a well-placed, deliberate pause, that sounds like pure confidence. Pausing is basically a superpower for speaking. It makes you way easier to understand, it makes your message clearer, and it just projects this feeling of confidence and control. It even helps people connect with what you're saying. But for you, the speaker, the best part is it gives you that little bit of breathing room to gather your thoughts. So start practicing it. Just take a tiny pause at the end of a sentence. It might feel weird at first, but I promise you, it is a total game changer. All right, let's tackle vocabulary. Because, let's be honest, having more words to choose from definitely helps you feel more confident. But trying to memorize long, boring lists of words, it just doesn't work. What we need is a method that's simple, manageable, and actually helps words stick. And here it is, the 1 word a day method. It's so simple. Step 1. Choose. Pick one new, interesting word you see or hear. Step 2. Learn. Don't just look up the definition. Learn how to say it and see how it's used in a sentence. And step 3, this is the most important part, use it. Actively try to use that word during your day. Just one word a day? Think about it. That's more than 365 new words in a year. That is huge progress. And really, this is the main takeaway from all of this. Breaking through that fluency plateau isn't about some magic moment where you suddenly become perfect. It's about all the small, consistent things you do every single day. It's about showing up. It's about practice, not perfection. Every little effort, every mistake, it's all a step in the right direction. So, I'm going to leave you with this question. After everything we've talked about, changing your mindset, using pauses, learning one new word, what is the one small thing you're going to do differently today to speak English with just a little more confidence? Your breakthrough doesn't start tomorrow. It starts with that one choice, right now.